Some mods work great, but come with a legal warning. These 11 upgrades can make your bike faster, sharper, and more responsive, but they also push past what's allowed on public roads. They're popular because they work, but if you don't know the limits, they'll land you in trouble fast. This isn't about flexing, it's about knowing the risk. Mod number 1. Mirror deletion or mini mirrors. Clean look? Yes. Legal everywhere? Definitely not. The CRG blind spot mirror is small, barely 2 inches wide, and mounts low near the bar ends. Some riders ditch mirrors completely for the track-ready vibe or replace stock units with these minimal options. The problem? In many jurisdictions, mirrors must be at least 3 inches in diameter and positioned above the handlebar level. But why do riders do it? Because smaller mirrors reduce drag slightly, eliminate buffeting around your arms, and clean up the cockpit for better aerodynamics and visibility of your dash. It's more than cosmetic. It actually improves comfort and line of sight. Just know, you might get cited if your local laws require 1 or 2 factory-size mirrors. Number 2. Custom fork wrap LED turn signals. Turn signals wrapped around the fork legs using flexible LED strips look sleek and modern. These true wrap styles often flash brighter than stock indicators and hug the bike frame tightly, reducing wind resistance and clutter. But in many countries and states, signal laws specify distance between left and right indicators, minimum size, and visibility range. If they're too close together, or washed out by the headlight, they're considered illegal. Why do riders still use them? They improve visibility from the front and don't protrude, which means no more snapping off stalks in tight parking or lane filtering. And honestly, they look factory clean. Legal in some states, gray area in others. Know your regs before you ride. Number 3. Wireless charging phone. Mounts. RAM mounts dominate the phone holder market. The newer versions feature built-in wireless charging, convenient, sleek, and powerful. You clip your phone in and juice up on the go. But depending on your region, that wireless function can get you fined. How? Some traffic laws consider the act of activating a function of an electronic device while riding a violation, even if it's just charging. It's rare, but it has happened. A few riders in Canada were cited for this very issue, though charges were later dropped. Also, on hot days, these mounts can overheat your phone due to wireless inefficiency. Performance boost? Yes, you stay charged for maps, comms, and telemetry. Legal issue? Maybe. Check out the description if you want to grab these mods and tools I personally use on my motorcycles. Number 4. Replacing your instrument cluster with a COSO, or aftermarket gauge. Stock gauge clusters are often clunky, outdated, and ugly. COSO makes sleek digital replacements with better visuals, gear indicators, and custom options. Riders love them for the modern readouts, compact fit, and clean look. But here's the catch. Replacing the factory cluster erases or hides the original odometer, which in many regions is considered tampering. Legally, you're supposed to record mileage, affix a disclosure, and declare it on sale. But few do. Even dealers have been caught resetting digital clusters or hiding stickers in awkward places like under seats or fenders. Riders who install digital dashes often see it as a performance mod, but unless you document it properly, it may land you in legal trouble when selling or registering your bike. Number 5. Odometer. Zeroing after mod install. Closely tied to Mod 4, this mod gets sneakier. When riders swap clusters or refresh bikes cosmetically, they often reset the odometer to 0, especially if the original dash was broken or unreadable. But unless you have documentation proving the original mileage and provide a signed statement, it's technically considered odometer fraud in many countries, even if it's accidental. Why do riders still do it? Because bikes look new, feel new, and having a fresh start feels clean. But buyers and inspectors see a zeroed odo and assume you're hiding wear. If caught, this can lead to fines or forced buybacks depending on your region. Bottom line, if you're swapping parts for performance or aesthetics, always log the real mileage somewhere visible, preferably near the ignition or on the frame. These first 5 mods already walk the line between genius and illegal. Hit that subscribe button now, because the next 6 push performance even further, and the laws even fuzzier. Number 6. Decat exhaust systems. Removing the catalytic converter, or decatting, is illegal in most developed countries. The cat is what keeps your emissions clean, and tampering with it violates EPA regulations in the US or MOT compliance rules in the UK. But here's the reality. Removing the cat dramatically reduces exhaust restriction, boosts throttle response, and drops weight, often 6 to 10 pounds instantly. On some bikes, dyno runs show 2 to 5 horsepower gains from a decat pipe alone. It also lowers exhaust temps near your feet and allows for deeper sound. That's why track riders and stunters love this mod. Still, if your region does emissions testing or sound checks, be careful. Getting caught with a decat can cost you $2,500 in fines in California alone. Number 7. Racetuned ECU flash. Tuning your ECU removes factory limitations on fuel mapping, throttle response, and top speed. Shops like Woolwich and V-CycleNut offer full flash services. The result? Crisper fueling, sharper acceleration, and more usable mid-range. The problem? Many of these flashes disable O2 sensors, remove exhaust valve control, and ignore emission standards, making them illegal for street use. In the US, the EPA has cracked down on companies offering competition-only flashes that customers still use on public roads. But the performance boost is real. Flashing a Yamaha R6 or GSX R750 can unlock 6 to 10% more power. Riders report smoother throttle roll-on, especially in lower gears where factory maps feel choppy. Just don't post your results online with license plates visible. People have been fine that way. Number 8. Integrated taillights with built-in turn signals. Integrated taillights combine brake lights and turn signals into a single sleek unit. They clean up the tail end, reduce drag, and eliminate bulky stalks. But most traffic laws require a specific distance between left and right signals, usually 12 inches minimum, and require amber indicators. Integrated tail lights are often red-only and too close together to meet code. In states like Texas or New York, you can get pulled over just for this mod. In Europe, it'll likely fail roadworthiness tests. Still, riders love them because they simplify wiring, reduce weight, and make the rear end look razor sharp. Just be prepared to swap back to legal blinkers before inspections. Number 9. Adjustable or aftermarket rear sets. Without DOT certification, aftermarket rear sets improve ground clearance, body position, and foot feel. On the track, they're a must. On the street, they're a gray area. Most aren't DOT certified for street use. Why? Because they lack the anti-vibration features, brake switch integration, or visibility requirements needed for street legality. That said, rear sets can make long-distance riding easier by adjusting for rider height or knee angle. They also reduce peg scraping during spirited cornering. One rider on a CBR 1000RR said his Woodcraft rear sets made the bike feel 20 pounds lighter in turns, just from leverage and positioning. But again, if it doesn't pass local standards, an insurance inspector could flag it post-accident. Number 10. Barend turn signals with no front reflectors. Barend signals like those from MotoGadget or Rizoma look stunning. They keep your cockpit clean, reduce wind drag, and light up brilliantly from the sides. The downside? Most traffic codes require forward-facing amber lights with a fixed distance from centerline, and Barends often violate that. Worse, removing stock indicators usually means removing front reflectors, which are required in many countries. Still, thousands of riders use this mod to slim down naked bikes, scramblers, or cafe builds. If your state allows DOT-equivalent hardware, you might be in the clear. If not, it's a fix-it ticket waiting to happen. Number 11. Exhaust baffle deletion, or straight pipe. Insert removal. Removing the internal baffle or DB killer gives your bike the bark it deserves. No more muffled sound, just raw engine note and instant throttle feedback. But there's a catch. In most places, if your bike exceeds 95 decibels at idle or lacks the required noise compliance stamp, it's illegal. California's Vehicle Code Section 27151 flat-out bans modified exhausts over a certain threshold. Despite that, thousands of riders still pop out their baffles. Why? Because it actually helps low-end throttle response and reduces back pressure on bikes that are choked by emissions hardware. One rider with an MT-09 said deleting the baffle made his throttle stop feeling delayed, and he gained better pull in gears 1 through 3. Just keep your insert handy and your ears open for sirens. Bonus mod: removing the license plate bracket for a floating plate. Look, this one's all about aesthetics, but it comes with risk. Some riders relocate their license plate under the seat or near the swing arm to clean up the tail. It gives the bike a floating, minimal look, especially when paired with an integrated taillight. But here's the catch. In many regions, your license plate must be clearly visible from the rear at a specified distance and angle, often 45 degrees or more. Hide it too far in, mount it sideways, or tuck it behind the tire, and you're asking for a traffic stop. Some states also require a plate light and reflective surface. Skip that? You're violating equipment code, whether you're speeding or not. Riders still do it because it looks clean and aggressive. But if you ride with a tucked plate, keep a standard bracket in the garage. You might need to reinstall it for inspection, insurance, or a very curious cop.